Strength training is not something that most of us are taught how to do. Strength training is not something that you typically see happening in a group, kind of a class, because there really is a learning curve. And the other reason we don't see a whole lot of strength stuff, like real strength stuff happening in like a group fitness class, is because in that environment, and I've talked about this on the first episode of season 2 of this podcast, is there's typically not heavy enough weight. Welcome back to the Dangerous Women podcast. I am your host, Colleen Conlon, and we had a comment on the podcast recently about someone saying that they decided to get a Pilates membership to start working out. And then after I was talking about Pilates, they were like, well, maybe I shouldn't do this because it doesn't sound like it's going to help me achieve my goals, and that they want to strength train, but they're scared to. I want to talk to this a little bit. I believe all movement is good, especially if you are beginning to get into the habit of consistently showing up and working out. I don't care what you pick. I think what's really important is that you are starting with something that is making you feel excited to move. That is number one. And then once you are consistently moving and you get to the point where it feels like, okay, I want to see change in a way that I haven't been able to yet. That's when you need to get more specific and figure out, is my training method going to be in alignment with the goals that I have for myself? And, sometimes we do pick things that are in alignment and other times we don't. And then we have to, figure out what matters more, doing what I'm enjoying or, trying something new that is more in alignment with what it is I'm going after. And to anybody who is feeling scared to begin strength training, I get it. I really do. Strength training is not something that most of us are taught how to do. Strength training is not something that you typically see happening in a group, kind of a class, because there really is a learning curve. And the other reason we don't see a whole lot of strength stuff, like real strength stuff happening in like a group fitness class, is because in that environment, and I've talked about this on the first episode of season 2 of this podcast, is there's typically not heavy enough weight. And when you have a lot of people in the group fitness environment, a lot of times everything needs to move fast. When people go to group fitness, there is a expectation that sweat is going to come with it. And when you are strength training, when your goal is to build muscle, the amount of sweat that's going to happen in a workout like that, not to say it can't happen. Like, I don't know what your temperature is in your environment. I don't know if you sweat more than the average person. I don't know what's going on, but typically you're not going to sweat that much. And I think for a lot of people beginning the journey, it's just like not something you would necessarily gravitate towards. The other thing when it comes to strength training is a lot of times, you need to take time to learn, and that's going to require more personal training. Not to say that you can't find stuff out there that is catered towards beginners. I can tell you this, I have beginner offers. If you are interested in beginning how to strength train with a couple of kettlebells, I would love you to come and do it with me virtually. I have a DIY program called Foundations where you can totally do it on your own. I have a program called Swing to Snatch, and that is friendly for beginners, but we go from 0 to 100. There's a requirement to train 4 to 5 times a week in that program. I would say if you were scared, that's probably not where you want to go, but it is beginner friendly. But I have something else that recently came out called Rebel Bells. And I kind of married the best of both worlds when it comes to strength training. When it comes to building muscle, we want to ideally live in that 8 to 12 rep range, and we want to focus on compound exercises. A compound exercise is an exercise that's going to give you a lot of bang for your buck, meaning it's bigger muscles that are doing a lot of the heavy lifting for us. So think squats, think deadlifts, think bent over rows, think chest press. And what's cool about this offer, Rebel Bells, is you're training with me 3 times a week. If you want to show up 3 times a week, I offer a live class 3 times a week. Some people are on the lives, other people, they just do the class recordings, and then we're in this private Discord. But I have the music, I'm doing the workout with you, but we are following a progressive strength training program. A lot of the stuff that I'm doing in this class is what I would be doing with a brand new client. A lot of the exercises that I'm doing in this class are also exercises that I do in my own workouts or that I do give to more advanced clients. The cool thing about strength training, especially when the goal is building muscle, is a lot of the exercises, they're the same. The rep ranges, they're the same, regardless of if you are a beginner or if you are advanced. What changes is the amount of weight. What is relatively heavy to a beginner is probably going to be lighter for somebody who is advanced, and vice versa. What, feels heavy for the advanced person is, I guess that's not vice versa. If it's heavy for the beginner, it's probably going to be light for the person who is advanced. That's how we're able to be in the same space together. It's about picking an appropriate size weight. But beginners and advanced athletes, they can be doing the same exercises. They can be following the same or very similar protocols to move the needle forward. So if you're scared, I would love to invite you to come into a space with me and I will help you fly. Thanks for tuning in. If this episode hit home, don't forget to leave a rating and review. Women are stronger together, so share this with a woman who you want to see rise. When we embrace positive takeaways, we level up, and when we share them, we change the world. Follow us on Instagram at The Dangerous Women Podcast and let us know what you want to hear next. And remember, dangerous women redefine wellness and the world. So be fierce, be authentic, be dangerous.